All right, let's.
Good morning. Welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL Strategy Show. First look. Yes, first look edition, the best show of the week. Hopefully, bring a little levity to the situation, or you just had a great week and everything's going well, and it doesn't matter what I say or what Ben says, but we've got a 10 gamer. You got 4 teams on bye going into week 5. You got a London game, Minnesota staying in Europe. You have obviously your Thursday, your Sunday night, your Monday night, 2 byes, an early game on Sunday, which means the shortest slate of the season so far, only 10 games. I think there's only one slate that's smaller than this over the rest of the year. There was like a 9-gamer. There's always one week that has like 8 teams on a bye or something ridiculous. But aside from that, man, Ben Rasa with me as always. We got it's kind of the wheelhouse spot. I love these abbreviated slates.
Yeah, it's a little less to sift through. You can dig a little deeper. You get more fringe plays because each price point doesn't have 4 guys; it has 3 guys. Something like that, and you don't think it makes a difference until you look in some of these spots, and you're not having to choose between 5 guys at the same price. So I like that. We'll recap what we got into. I don't want to talk about the 2-gamer. I've wiped that from my memory, but yeah, I'm excited to start getting into the thick of the season. To me, the season kind of begins once buys start. That's real NFL week to week.
Yeah, you got your week 5 buys. We are essentially a month into the year. So if you guys don't mind, take a single second, atone for your sins this fine morning. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Yes, it's 100% free to do. And leave comments down below. Let us know where you're going on a slate like this. I'm excited for this one. And I'm not just saying that. Like I don't just say I'm excited for this if I'm not. I actually am excited for this slate, which means it'll end in disaster. Because I had a good week 3 and a good week 4 after a not great week 1 and week 2. And now I'm back in the black for the season. So we'll see what happens. Could ruin all of it today. I'm with you. Last night did not go great, even though I was on a lot of Harvey, a lot of RJ Harvey. That was my stand, but it didn't matter, Ben, because Darren Waller and more than any, and Marvin Mims and the Tyreek injury. I pivoted off of Chase to get to more Higgins. I was underweight on Chase, but that didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. The offense scored 3 points.
Nothing I did worked out. Betting was fantastic.
Agreed.
I swept the board on my straight plays. Waller over 9.5 yards cashed legitimately before I even turned the game on. I had Breece Hall over rushing yards that cleared with ease, and I had the over in the Jets game, as did you, I believe. So I was happy with that. But yeah, the 2 game was just a gutter ball. When you play short slates, it's like showdown. 1 or 2 punt plays, if they get there, it becomes a tournament within a tournament because you just can't overcome those points. And now this tight end on the Jets kind of marginalized it with Waller, but there was just no way to not have the situation with Denver. You kind of needed that. I was way over on Dobbins. That was another problem that I had, but we turned the page. No big deal. And now we get, again, an interesting situation. And those teams are on the slate. So that's something that's, because as a 2-gamer, it feels like, oh, well, they already played. But no, we're gonna be talking about some of those teams right now.
And not just are we going to be talking about them, but we're going to be talking them in the context of DraftKings already had all of the salaries up prior to some of those games happening, prior to the Tyreek Hill knee injury. And Ben, if you were to look at this, I'll show you something here. I tweeted this last night, right? Jalen Waddle is $5,400 against the Carolina Panthers. $5,400. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see this better. You have Justin Fields, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson combined for like 17,000 or something against Dallas. You have Tetero and McMillan at 5,700 against an awful defense in Miami with Bryce Young at 4,700. You guys can say whatever you want, but that is a viable spot. Amarian Hampton coming off a monster game is 6,500. And you know what? Another one that stuck out to me. Jameson Williams has fallen below $5,000. Someone tweeted me when they're like, there's nothing interesting about Jameson Williams. I could not disagree more.
Yeah, I mean, of course there's something interesting about him. 1, the guy's got home run upside. 2, he is a bad drop away from us most content operations leading with him, because he should have scored like a 60-yard touchdown against Cleveland last week and he had a terrible drop. That happens, but it's very actionable. So anytime you see this, we see this a lot in week 1. We see this a lot for Thanksgiving, Christmas, slates that drop early, and then there's news. The pricing is all wildly inefficient because there are things that happen that they can't account for that we can. Most prevalent, what happened last night.
Exactly. And there's a lot of it. I mean, just the fact that let's do, you know what? It's time for Goblin of the Week. I went into this. I do a lot of my betting video on Monday night while I'm watching the games. I don't record it, but I put a bunch of picks in. I go over my the picks for the coming week. I want to get the CLV, but not only that, I write up this run sheet and I go over the entire slate on Monday night coming into Tuesday for this show. I do it for you guys. Also, I just love looking at football stuff. And as I'm doing this, I thought to myself, as I got the Goblin of the Week in the run sheet, I was like, I don't really have one. But you know what? Last night bailed me out. So it's time for Goblin of the Week, presented by Brandon Staley and Nathaniel Hackett, soon to be presented by one man out there, head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I mean, it's only a matter of time. I'm going to go first. All right.
Go ahead. To me, go ahead.
Yeah, this isn't anything crazy. Like last week, I had a wild one. The week before, you had a pretty crazy one too. It's the Jets, man, and here's why. Well, no, I'm telling you, they're a full out Goblin of the Week. Once I give you this breakdown, you'll agree with me. Like, of course, Adonai Mitchell is probably up there, and he's probably the low hanging fruit if you wanted to go with that for multiple plays that cost them the game. But the Jets outgained the Miami Dolphins 404 yards to 300. Okay. They knocked on the doorstep. Braylon Allen fumble, Justin Fields fumble. There was another fumble, 3 lost fumbles on the game, 13 penalties for 101 yards. Ben, 13 penalties for 101 yards. This team they genuinely had no business losing this game. There's been many games we've seen this year with certain teams that have no business losing and find a way to lose, right? They rip defeat from the jaws of victory. Exactly what the Jets did. You outgain a team by 100 yards. You rush for almost 200 yards on the ground, and you take 13 penalties for 101 yards and turn the ball over 3 times. And the Dolphins didn't have Tyreek Hill for a half of that football game. They're Goblin of the Week. And you know what? I'll tell you right now. I think if you asked Aaron Glenn who he would make the Goblin of the Week, he would say it's my own damn football team. So Goblin of the Week, New York Jets. Bailed me out late because I did not have one outside of the obvious. Who do you got?
Yeah, you kind of hit it. There really wasn't anything. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, and we'll save some extra time. Nothing glamorous. It's just very obvious. Adonai Mitchell, if they would have won, I don't think it'd be that big a deal, but they lost the game on the classic Deshaun Jackson. I don't know how much he was trying to celebrate as much as he was just like kind of switching.
Dude, that was I don't care what anyone says. He bobbled that. Like that was not.
So like it wasn't stupid. It was just unfortunate.
It was not Deshaun Jackson.
No, it wasn't. He didn't drop the ball, 2 yards short of the end zone. So it was just it was a freak thing. There wasn't, that many crazy. The bad teams were bad. The Titans were awful. The Jets were awful. There was a tie. That was kind of stupid. But like, I didn't have a lot. So I'll keep it very simple. Not every week can you have some type of unique one. I'll just say Adonai Mitchell. He's not going to be the Goblin of the Year. We'll never talk about him on that segment again, would be my guess. This week, you have to own it, though. You can't make that mistake.
Yep. No, you're right. If we don't have him up, and he didn't make one mistake. He also had a crucial holding call penalty.
Yeah.
That brought back, what was that, like a 60-yard Jonathan Taylor touchdown, which I had in a great power sweep lineup that could have, at the very least, top 10 for me or something. That penalty was bad. So I actually felt kind of bad for the guy, all things considered. It was that should be touchdown grab. Everyone's going to forget about how nice of a catch and run and broken tackle and tiptoeing down the sideline that was.
He's 100%. just like I said, freak play in the grand scheme of things. I don't think it really matters, but we'll see. The Rams are a good team, and they went toe to toe with them, so credit to them. Not the most fun Goblin of the year segment, but that's okay.
Yeah, we've had some good ones already this year.
Oh, and we'll have some good ones. Like, there's gonna be a lot of stupid things that happen probably this week.
I do have one last question before we dive into this. It'll give you guys a second to hit the thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer does Brian Callahan have? They're 8.5-point dogs in Arizona this week. If they get smoked by 3 touchdowns again, like how much longer do you have?
I think pretty long.
I don't, and I'm going to tell you why. If they were losing, but you were developing your number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward, and he was having quality games, right? Outside of just a flash play here or there, like we saw a couple of weeks ago with that big touchdown to Iomanner. I'm telling you, I think you can't rule out him being gone within the next couple of weeks if Cam Ward and the offense continue to put up 0 to 10 points per game. I understand it's a developmental year, but developmental year means still showing progress. They have regressed since week 1. And if you keep going backwards, you cannot go further. You can't score negative points. So they can't get any worse than they were last week. I think if you don't show notable offensive improvement in the next couple of weeks, Callahan may be gone. You can't waste the full season.
So again, this is what I think is going to happen. He should be gone. They should retroactively go back in time and fire him earlier. Like, he should be immediately fired.
Right.
But I think he's maybe in the Dable bucket, where at least now, obviously, he's got a reprieve because Dart showed life. I don't know. All the coaches that are about to be instantly fired turned down the temperature slightly in the last couple of days, in my opinion. Obviously, McDaniel last night, Dable, Aaron Glenn's not going to get fired. The Titans guy should be fired, but I don't think he will be.
Okay.
And then they will fire him. That's the whole point.
Oh, yeah.
That's it's inevitable. That's why I don't understand. If you know you're going to fire this guy, why wouldn't you just get it over with?
Dude, why do you think Nathaniel Hackett and Brandon Staley present the Goblin of the Week? You know, there's a possibility that they wouldn't be presenting if the front office was wise enough just to get rid of him before it got so bad to the point where it stuck out like a sore thumb, right?
Yep.
Like the Brandon Staley, was it the Christmas game? Remember that one game they lost like by 50 points, and then you just, okay, now it's actually over. No, that was Hackett. I'm sorry. That was
it all blends.
It blends. But Brandon Staley, how many games did they not only lose by 1 possession, but lose by 1 possession because he didn't understand how clock management worked? He didn't understand how to call a timeout. Remember when he went for it on 4th down on that one play? It was like 4th and 2 or 4th and 1 and they passed. Whatever the play call was, Brandon Staley, remember, everyone loved him. He was the analytics guy, right? He was the analytics guy ushering in a new era of coaching NFL football, and he just gave them a terrible name.
Yeah, he's what people who don't understand analytics think of when they bash analytics.
I hate when people use the term fake sharp, but Staley felt like a fake sharp.
Yeah, I hear that. I hate when people use analytics and then they say, like, well, you can use those, but you got to at some point go with your gut. Like, no, that's the opposite. That's not how that works. Like, the outcome is irrelevant. There are good decisions and bad decisions, and there is some art to it. I agree with that, but Brandon Staley was just as inept as the people who don't use analytics. He was just doing it wrong.
Ready to have some fun here?
Yeah, I want to shout out, let's definitely have some fun, but I want to shout out a couple of, oh yeah, here we go. Andrew Sutton. Look at that. Bang. 5 into 6 guys. Yeah, that's, we got Matthew. This is definitely an applause.
You got to read them out loud for all our podcast listeners, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Podcast listeners, you can sense what I'm saying, but I'll also tell you. Use the sim for the first time this week through the top 20 from the Sins in the 20 max and 12 cashed one top 20, pretty awesome. Yeah, that's very awesome. That's really good stuff. And like I said, those tools, of course, it's not automatic by any stretch, but it really can put you on the right path. It can give you a lot of flexibility, a lot of options, a lot of customization. And that's what we love to see, people trying it out and having some success.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's dive into this.
The time is
what
here.
Was that?
Yeah, it's a heartbeat.
Yeah,
a rapid
I don't like that.
No? Okay. It's not loud enough is the problem.
Yeah, it made me think that I was having like a panic attack because it was very
What about
subtle.
now? Ben, are you ready to talk some football? That just sounds like some tribal drum before they sacrifice us.
Yeah, that's not it.
It's not it. You're right. All right, let's go. Quarterback. I don't love anything up top, but I'm gonna throw one out to you because I think we understand football well enough to see ebbs and flows, and nobody understands the transitive property game better than you. I've stolen kind of that. I haven't stolen the concept, but the terminology from you because I think it's the best way to convey it. The Philadelphia Eagles are a team where they've won 4 straight. They won back-to-back games that they should have. I don't want to say they should have lost to Tampa, but to me, I watched that whole game thinking Tampa outplayed them. Hurts did not complete a pass in the second half. I remember last year when this was happening and they're like, Hurts can't throw the ball. They can't move the ball. There's a part of me that thinks they come into this week and punish Denver. And it seems unlikely, right? Denver has a good defense. There's all of this. Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator for Philly. Nobody's happy. Even the players, Jordan Mailata, a few of them making some statements kind of aimed at him subtly. AJ Brown posting Instagram things about him, being ignored and unnoticed and not wanted. I still think there might be something there, though, if no one goes to Hurts this week. Denver's playing on a short week, traveling to Philadelphia, and I don't know. Maybe it's Hurts, maybe it's Barkley. This I don't have the foresight on, but I think one of these guys this week is going to pop off at super low ownership, and it might be Barkley.
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. And I just dropped for ATG Blake. I just dropped the link for our link joint. That's how you can get the Sims for free. Right there. Just use that link, follow the instructions. The Eagles, so it's fascinating. You rarely, if ever, get to say this. It's starting in my mind, and you're closer to it than me. Feels like it's starting to bubble over, but they're 4-0. Like, it's normally when you wait till a team starts, even if they're a good team, they lose. And then you start to hear AJ Brown, you start to hear some of these guys say, this is not how we want to play, stuff like that. But it's very rare to me where a team is legitimately flawless and it still seems to have the pressure mounting. So I'm not going to say that they have to alter it for the sake of that, but at the same time, I do think that they could be a little more dynamic in certain situations. And I think everyone's going to go to Goff up top, rightfully so. So if you pivot to either Baker or Hurts, I don't know. I think pivoting to Lamar is a little too crazy. If we get clarity, that's probably a little too rich for my blood. But you're going to see Goff and Herbert, I'd assume, take the majority of the ownership up top.
I could see that too. Coach Roush, is it Roush or Roosh? I want to say Roush.
I was going to say Roosh.
Roosh? Maybe it's Roosh. Coach R says Saquon has been so inefficient. He's either going to bust out sooner. Last year really took a toll on him. Nah, dude, they're not blocking well for him. They're not running anything outside. If you watch these games, when he has any bit of running room, he's explosive. Even like that early catch and run that he had last week against Tampa, this is not on Saquon. So if they can figure things out as far as blocking scheme goes, bouncing him outside, Saquon's going to have a big game for sure. Loughy got it right, he said, Coach Roush.
Of course.
Brian, I know you mentioned this. Brian, any good promo codes? That link join, you click the link in the description that says sign up with any of our sportsbook partners, get the Sims free. Dude, I'm telling you, follow those 4 simple steps, and it well worth it, man. Well worth it, and it's insanely easy to do, right? You had Mike who says, thanks to keeping my bankroll alive, Stokastic. Signed up for Underdog last week, got a free month. Helped my showdown last night. Just needed to fade Jamar for Chase. Check this one out, Ben. I got this yesterday, DM'd me, and he tweeted it as well. Pedro, been watching Loughy and crew for a while. By the way, he shouted you and me out personally in the DM. I play low stakes for fun. Got a free month of Sims Core with Sleeper, and 2 weeks later, this happened. Was leading the pack for a while. Christian McCaffrey screwed me, but I forgive him. Dude, you're talking about a monster ROI. He played $1 in this, Ben, and $300. Let's keep that in $1 to $300. So there's a lot of people out there that play for fun. They play micro stakes. They play slow stakes for fun. That's why we have this link join. The link join is up there, so you guys can come in, deposit $5 or $10. If you do it on Onyx, you're getting $100 in Onyx cash, which is the equivalent of cash. A lot of these have bonus bets and match deposits anyway. And then you get to just use the tools without being like, man, how much did I spend on tools this month when I'm only playing $1 on a slate and he took down 300. So like, if there's no better example than that, it's this. Also, notice 3 of the top 5 are Stokastic
I was going to point that out. Also, I like that Pineapple Truck. That's an interesting name.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Maybe he owns like a pineapple truck.
Maybe. That's mystical. I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was cool and wanted to share that with you guys. Link is down there. Super easy way to do it. Nate Loughy, we can see that he played 4 lineups, my guy. Yes, and I'm just pointing it out further. All right.
Yeah,
so
4 lineups at 25 cents each.
Yeah, it was 25 cents, dude. It's $1. Oh, he was trying to say I was wrong.
I don't know. I just
think you're right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I think Hurts could be sneaky, but you don't love the matchup. Riley Moss and Patrick Surtain. You can get pressure if you're Denver and Philly's offensive line hasn't held up. Lane Johnson's dealing with an injury. I just wanted to put it out there that I think it could be Hurts, maybe Barkley. We'll talk about him when we get there. There is one spot, though. Dude, I think I'm living in the sub 6K range this week. I think I'm just going to live there this week.
I mean, it's hard to argue with this. It's not even just one that's why it's so hard to argue it. Just go right from the top. Kyler seems very reasonable. Daniel Jones seems extremely reasonable. Bo Nix, that's probably very contrarian. Fields, you just talked about. Reasonable. I mean, he could be one of the more popular spots. Tua, I mean, I know we lose Tyreek, but that just means the stack price is that much lower. Geno on the other side of that game. Dart, I mean, if they're going to run him 10 to 15 times, you're going to have some opportunities there, and his stack is going to be ridiculously cheap. Stroud, honestly, I was going to say Stroud, no, but Baltimore's defense is a disgrace. And
what's going on with that? I know they've got injuries, but what's going on there, man? They've allowed more yards through 4 games than any other team.
They've been horrible, and any defender that I could name on the Baltimore defense is now injured. They're all injured. It's crazy how banged up they are. Darnold against the Bucs isn't insane. And then obviously you're not going to play Mariota. But yeah, you have 4 or 5 options there.
6. And I'm going to show you here.
Sure. It's crazy.
I don't want you to laugh. I don't want the eye roll, Ben. I just want some hard-hitting analysis from my friend Ben Rasa here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. $4,700 Bryce Young at home against the Patriots. I know he's been bad.
Dolphins.
I get it. But Tetsuo McMillan, the Miami Dolphins secondary is garbage, dude. Tommy Tremble's $2,600. McMillan is $5,700 or $54, whatever it is. Bryce Young's $4,700. I know this feels uncomfortable, but you have to be looking to the Panthers this week. If it's not here, it's Chuba Hubbard. They're actually slight favorites at home. Yes, it's gross, but a $4,700 Bryce Young single stack, if you want it even, because you don't need a big game from him, with a $5,700 Tetsuo McMillan, dude, you're talking $10,400 for the number 1 receiver against the terrible secondary at home and a $4,700 quarterback. I'm going to take some chances.
Definitely could take some chances. I'm not ruling it out. I see it. A couple of things on the other side of this, though, that I do want to point out. One, I can't really figure out what changed, and maybe it's just variance. He seems not prone to running whatsoever. He had a nice rushing attack in week 1, and in the next 3 games, he's done absolutely nothing on the ground. And then 2, them being favorite could hurt, because where Bryce Young maybe is at his best is when they're falling behind and he's dropping back 40 to 50 times.
That's fair.
So it's going to be, you're going to raise the efficiency, you're going to raise the touchdown equity, but you probably drop volume a little bit. So that's the balance that you're going to look to. He's definitely in play. I worry that we could see 26, 28 pass attempts. And if that's the volume with no rushing, now we're drawing to really narrow lanes to get there.
Very fair point. However, $4,700. Right? He's almost minimum salary. And your point, 100% well taken. Also, Miami can put some points on the board as well, even without Hill. I think they'll still be able to score some points. I don't know. Look, am I saying just jam Bryce Young? No. What I am saying is if you went and played, check this out for a second. Because Tommy, if Jatavian Sanders remains out, and I expect him to with that high ankle, if you went Tommy Tremble, who had 7 or 8 targets last week and is actually a red zone target for Bryce Young, just throw this out there, right? If you wanted to try something like this, what is he, 26, 2,800, 2,900 plus, who would you run back here? Waddle at 54 just seems like the guy, right, Ben?
Yeah.
Run it back with Waddle, play a discounted defense. I don't really care who. Let's say Saints. I think $2,200 Saints is fine. That gives us 7,300 remaining for the final 4 players. Dude, if this game even has 45 points and it's concentrated around the players we expected to be with 2 concentrated offenses, that's why I have some interest. It's strictly a price play.
Yeah. Listen, again, I get it. There's just a lot of cheap quarterbacks. The guys $500-$600 above him, we all like them too. So he'll probably be in the pool for me. No more than some of the other guys we mentioned, though.
Fair. He'll definitely be in the pool for me. Kyle, you guys literally told me Bryce was not viable next week. Now you're on my value train this week. Welcome aboard. Well, hold on, dude. Don't bury the lead here. We were right. I hated that matchup for Bryce Young last week against the Patriots. Thought they'd smack him. They did. They crushed him. He had that opening drive for the touchdown. And outside of that, they were blanked all game.
Yeah, they were terrible.
If you played Bryce Young last week, you had a bad week. So Kyle, listen, we can jump on board together, but don't act like you were early, man. Come on now. All right. Other wide receiver or other quarterbacks real quick, just to hit on. You hit on most of them, but I do think, looking over a few of these, you're right. Goff should be popular. That Cincinnati team is just flat out bad. You mentioned Herbert, Dak and Fields to me. If you asked me, this is going to sound insane, but if you asked me to make a 4 quarterback field right now, Ben, it would be Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, and Bryce Young. And if you ask me to do 6, you throw in Daniel Jones and Herbert, maybe Hurts sneaks in or Tua sneaks in there. But Fields, if Fields ends up being my highest exposed quarterback, despite his popularity, it would not shock me one bit at all. They need to clean those penalties up, the false starts. They need to learn how to line up at the line of scrimmage, which is a problem. But man, that Dallas defense, they're abysmal.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think Fields is the most obvious choice. I think he'll be the most popular of the quarterbacks as well. Just coming off an island game, price is wrong. Stroud's the most interesting to me. That doesn't mean he's my favorite. Far from it. That's why he's the most interesting. I don't know if people will go there, and I'm not sure that maybe they shouldn't.
All right. Let's talk running backs here. Remember, it's a 10-game slate. There's a lot less going on here than there typically would be, but also there's plenty of good running backs. Do we go right back to the well with Jonathan Taylor this week?
Yeah, you already showed that the opportunity cost is there's an opportunity cost because you can only play 3 or 2 running backs, but the price is not an opportunity cost at all. You're gonna have money to spend. So the guy seems basically in any game script a virtual lock for 20 plus touches. That seems like the floor. Against Vegas, probably playing from ahead. What's not? I would assume he'll have one of the highest anytime touchdown scoring props on the entire slate.
What do you put him at? Honestly, minus 250.
I mean, that's a little rich, but he's certainly favorite. That's going to be a given.
He's got to be minus 200. No?
Yeah, probably, honestly. When you get up there, that's Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry when he was rolling territory.
Yep. And, you look last game, 22 touches. He didn't hit 20 carries, but he had 5 targets on 5 receptions. The game before that, 20 touches in a monster blowout win where, they didn't need to run him into the ground. Denver game, 27 touches. Miami game, he got pulled literally in the middle of the third quarter, Ben, and still had 21 touches. Like, this guy is the biggest workhorse in the league right now.
Yeah. And there's nothing to indicate that would change in a matchup like this.
All right, so talk to me about the 7K plus guys, assuming Irving plays. Starting from the bottom up, Derrick Henry against Houston. I know he's had their number, but this is not a good spot if Lamar doesn't play. Houston does have a good defense, very good defense. Bucky Irving against Seattle, in Seattle. Devon Achane against Carolina. That's tempting. Barkley against Denver. Gibbs against Cincinnati. I'm just going to throw it out right now. Saquon Barkley against Denver, dude. Like, no one on a week where you have Taylor against the Raiders, Gibbs against Cincy, Achane with no Hill against Carolina. No one's going to want to play Barkley. This may be a spot that I try and 4X the field on, and I may only need to get 15% to do it.
Yeah, he's going to be again, these are all great players. He'll be lost amongst them, though. Achane's another one. I don't see how he doesn't have 20 touches. Given the situation, he's going to get receptions. Gibbs is Gibbs. We talked about Jonathan Taylor. I'm fine with any of the top 4. There's a huge drop off after that to me. It's like play any of them. Saquon for leverage. Taylor's the most obvious. But I'll have lineups that have 2 for sure. I don't know if I'll have 3.
All you need to get 2 of them, Ben, is a little Bryce Young stack.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is all you really need, I know you're kind of joking, a jet stack does it too. And that's what people are going to do.
Yep, a jet stack does it. Breece Hall's 56. Garrett Wilson, 61. Yo, Mason Taylor with a mini breakout game. He looked nice, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He almost he got Waller marginalized a little last night for sure.
I have 30% of him in best ball. So, I just went wild with Fields, Wilson, and Mason Taylor because he was, a late pick. So I was happy to see that. Brian, thanks a lot for that 3K yesterday, Loughy. Hope I'm spelling it right. What was the 3K? Congratulations one way or another. And Scott Hughes, you said it. Watch Waller get 2 touchdowns and break the slate. Ben, I said it on Live Before Lock because we know how those 2-game slates go. My stand was on RJ Harvey. He had a good game. Didn't matter. Didn't have enough Waller. And when you don't have enough of that guy at a horrible tight end position, doesn't matter.
2-game slate. That's the nature of it. Just brutal. And listen, Waller looked fine, but it's also, those are just freak occurrences. Every one of his targets basically was a touchdown.
Yep.
So what are you going to do?
Exactly. Brian never would have been on Harvey without Loughy's info. Okay. So Harvey, cool, man. I'm glad that's why we do this stuff. Makes it a whole lot more fun when you guys have success on some of our plays that we try and research throughout the week. I'm not going back to Ashton Jeanty this week, Ben. That's my stand.
I was right about that, though. I'll take my.
You nailed that. Yeah, you were all over it. It's a shame you didn't have more.
I just couldn't get the right. That slate devolved very rapidly. Whatever. Regardless, where I'm really pissed off is I should have done more in the betting markets with him. I had him in parlays for anytime touchdowns. I really should have laddered because I'm not saying I knew he was going to score 3 times, but that's the 60-yard run. I knew that was coming. It was just a matter of
you've been saying it since week 2.
That's just how he runs, and he gets loose. And what you're talking about with Saquon It's funny that's who I was thinking of in my mind, where it's like Jeanty, the blocking has been terrible, but when he gets loose, Saquon's going to have one of those soon. And so, yeah.
Again, I know I use this phrase a lot, but it couldn't be more apropos. Buy when there's the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. And there was undoubtedly blood in the streets with Ashton Jeanty. And I think there is with Saquon Barkley as well. So does that mean you don't go back to Jeanty? No, but I do think it's a pretty deep slate. You were all over that. You should have laddered his touchdowns up to 3 for sure, though. Like in hindsight, yeah, but it wouldn't have surprised me if you did, because you've been calling for that crazy breakout, multiple big touchdown run game for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, no, I screwed it up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's a bad job of not being actionable with a line. And that was the spot. It wasn't like, that's going to happen randomly, like I say with Jerry Jeudy. Like, I don't know when that's going to happen. That was the spot against the Bears, who were even though
their defense thing. And amazingly, dude, the Bears still won. That Raider,
that's because Geno threw unlimited amount of interceptions. He was terrible.
How is he so bad right now?
I don't know. I don't know. So they typically do single. Yeah, DraftKings offers all types of games. I play a ton of the single entry 3 max stuff. They've got 5 max, 20 max. So absolutely.
I meant to mention this at the top of the show. Usually I give you the Millie Maker breakdown, which was a naked Mahomes lineup with Tongus and Woody Marks. Ben, you'll find this interesting. I think you guys in chat and watching or listening to this after the fact will as well. It just goes to show you that single entry, you can still win without being crazy and without having the top guy even. The 400K spy winner was a Stafford double stack with Adonai Mitchell and Tyler Warren as the run backs, right? Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams on the other side. Not super contrarian. With Drake London, James Cook, Amarian Hampton, Lions defense, no Ashton Jeanty. And then I went to the $12 fair catch, which I think is like $150,000 prize pool. It's like 20K up top or something, right? 15K up top. But a large field single entry contest. And anyone can kind of jump into that, lowish stakes, $12. The top 2 lineups did not have Ashton Jeanty. Both of them had Quentin Johnston and Woody Marks, 2 entirely different people. It's single entry, no Ashton Jeanty. So yeah, you needed Ashton Jeanty if you're playing a large portfolio of lineups to have a shot in these large field contests. But how about that, dude? The single entry spy, 100K up top, and the fair catch, which is a large field single entry, no Ashton Jeanty.
That is interesting. I mean, but yeah, it just shows you there were a ton of running backs that lost to him, but only by 10-ish points. And you could have made that up elsewhere. So you obviously needed him if you're going to the top of the top of the top. But in some of those medium level tournaments and stakes, you can get away with that. Even I saw some, again, a little higher stake. The Lions defense is who you wanted and who you needed, but you could have got away with it if you had a normal defense with the rest. It was definitely possible.
Yeah. PJ, wait a minute. You guys said not to play Waller. You and Greg both said you're not on him because the snap count. I took Waller out of lines because of that. Yeah, I didn't play enough Waller. I just said
job, Loughy. You screwed it up.
We didn't play Waller. I had a couple lineups, not enough.
I certainly didn't play him, so.
Yeah. I bet the over, and I gave the over out on 9.5 receiving yards. You gave it out on tails.
That I did do, yes. But I thought he would have 1 reception.
Right. And I said that was the way I was going to play it with Darren Waller. I mentioned it on Live Before Lock. You posted it on tails. Matter of fact, you hit me up. You're like, yo, did you bet Waller?
I posted it on tails. No joke. This is exactly what happened. I posted it on tails. I turn on the game. Literally, Waller catches like a 14-yard pass. I'm like, nice. Just cash that ticket. I go to Twitter, and the legitimate first comment on my feed is at Loughy, like, Waller already cashed, thank you. And I'm like, oh, you must have gave that out. I go to your tails. You have 1 million bets, not Waller. And I'm just like, wait, do people think that I'm you? Because I'm a little confused at what's going on. I obviously didn't realize that you talked about him a little on the show.
Yeah, it was like close to lock, so I never got it in. But yeah. Well, they've confused us many times in the past. Ben, however, over on tails, I did hit a pretty nice parlay yesterday, and it came on one of the final plays of the game. I used the Bet365 Super Boost plus 575 to plus 862. Fields anytime touchdown. We got that early. Over 44.5 points. Garrett Wilson over 63.5 receiving yards. So check this out. He was at like 42, right? He was at 42, and it was under the 44.5. Garrett Wilson, dude, I'll say it as many times as I have to until everybody agrees with me. This dude is so good. Like I still am not sure how aware people are of how good Garrett Wilson actually is. Like nobody makes catches like Garrett Wilson. Nobody, not prime OBJ, not George Pickens. This guy's a freak. So it got us over. We hit that. Come tail us. Come to follow Ben. Come follow me. Tails.bet or use the link down below. We are having a phenomenal time over there. Everything is free. If you are on Tails, by the way, Kristen Bays, our boys, tailed that parlay. Thank you. If you guys are on Tails, let me know in the chat because I know a lot of you guys have been hanging out and sweating these with us together. If you're not, dude, you don't enter a credit card, nothing. Like you literally just sign up for free, create a free account, and follow the people you want and turn on notifications to get all of their bets. That's it. But Ben, then the final play of the game, a bunch of people who bet this were tweeting me that they got it late. So it moved up to 65.5 and they were stuck on the hook. Wilson was at 65. Ooh. He gets that last play, runs back into the end zone. And I'm thinking I'm about to lose that. He ends up going for like 22 more yards and finishes with 82 or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of wide receivers like this where if they were in different circumstances, they would just be, he's unbelievable. He's a great player. And I didn't think he scored when I saw the play, to be honest. And then they showed it again and I still wasn't positive, but he got the feet down. So yeah, he's going to be crazy popular this week. I know we're about to go to wide receiver. He is going to be crazy popular.
For what it's worth, I think I'll still be on board against Dallas.
Yeah. Just because someone's crazy popular doesn't mean you shouldn't play them.
Dude, our friend Morgan Wiper, who took the Millie down last week and came an Adonai Mitchell drop from winning it this week. If you look at his lineups, they're not weird lineups. It's just the typical philosophy. You play one or two guys who are low owned. Rick, Bunk Cake, who took down the Millie, and I interviewed him last year, Stokastic subscriber. The only real differentiation he made in that lineup was, remember, he went to James Cook when James Cook was like 3% owned and he broke the slate. That's all there is to not that's all there is to it, but you don't have to get super funky. You really don't.
No, not in the NFL for sure. Like,
yeah,
you don't want to do that. Really. I think that's misguided for the most part.
Anyway, come follow us over on Tails. Anything else you wanted to say about this? We've been thoroughly enjoying our time over there.
No, you already summed it up nicely. If you're looking for content, and again, there's a lot of premium content, but as you can see, everything on your screen is completely free, 100% free. You follow who you like. You don't get cluttered with other stuff. This is just content, bets, DFS advice, all that type of stuff in one place. You get alerts. That's what we wanted. We wanted to remove all the nonsense that's everywhere else and just give you what you want, which is just straight content, straight actionable takes, and it's one click to tail. You literally can click it. The bet is mapped, and you're in business. So you can tail with us instantly, and that's where we're at. It's beautiful.
By the way, Josh, Emac, Lindy, all of them have baseball bets up for today as well. So
I have a baseball bet as
well.
well.
Look at that. I don't. Amari and Hampton, I like a lot. I'll go right back to him. I simply have no issues going to this guy right now. Heavily involved in the passing game, Ben. That's what I care about. If they play with the lead, he's going to get the work on the ground. If they play from behind, Hampton's going to get the work through the air. I'm very much okay with that right now. I would assume you're on the same boat.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Scadaboo's fine against the Saints. I love Chuba Hubbard this week, though, man. Like, I think I'm going to end up being on a ton of Hubbard Hall. I understand they'll be popular. Chuba Hubbard and Breece Hall probably end up being two of my highest exposed guys. I simply love the 5K range at running back and at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, there's some obvious targets in there, starting with Breece Hall. You mentioned Carolina. That's another way to do it. Tony Pollard, again, not in that range of popularity, but this is a guy that it really can't be going any worse. The touchdown equity isn't there. They're always playing from behind. I know it seems like that'll never change, but eventually it's going to change. And Arizona's not exactly invincible. I think Tony Pollard, if he's like 1/10 the ownership of a guy like Breece Hall, he's the type of pivot I might make this week.
The only thing I'll say is that Tajay Spears is expected back.
Yeah, but I'll be very interested to see how much, if any, that eats into the snap count. I don't think it does.
It might not. Maybe not in this week. Morgan, what's up, dude? Thank you for the super chat. One or two guys that are different are all you need. Your boy Garrett Wilson was in the Millie. Stafford this week going over versus the field works too. Exactly. You can just go over the field on chalk.
And like I said, if you want to listen to somebody, that's the guy to listen to, who almost took down the Millie back-to-back weeks. So,
yeah, you should absolutely listen to the interview I did with Morgan on the
100%.
channel. Helped me too. Anyway, last one here, Ben. Woody Marks.
No.
Any interest there?
No.
No?
No. I mean, again, any interest? Sure. Do I think that he's going to probably be over-owned relative to a game that could be somewhat of a, dare I say, outlier? Yeah, it's possible. He had incredible volume. I will give him that. 17 carries, 5 targets. He maximized it, but he scored twice. I mean, everything went right in play, but firmly behind a guy like Breece Hall and Hubbard for me.
Me too. Yeah, I'm with you. Good volume, but is that sticky?
I also don't know what to do with Baltimore. Like, I don't believe that they're done, but man, they have shown nothing. I still think at some point, maybe we'll zoom out and we'll just say, I mean, who did Baltimore really lose to? I know it's been bad, but they lost to the Bills.
What they should have won.
Henry fumble. They lost to the Lions, where they could have won.
Henry fumble.
And they lost to the Chiefs in Arrowhead,
who were also 1-2 at the time.
So I know it's not good. It's not good to be 1-3. But if you're going to be 1-3, besides the Eagles, I mean, that might be the 3 hardest teams to have played given the situation.
You're right. You're absolutely right. If you want the Ravens, they are -3.5 right now.
I tried that last week. I don't know if I can bet them.
-3.5 at home. I think Lamar plays.
I mean, that line definitely indicates that he's not playing, in my opinion.
I think it's a hedge. Dude, I think if Lamar doesn't play, this moves closer to a pick'em.
I think if he plays, this could flirt with 7.
Right. That's why I'm saying I think it's a hedge. Like, I think this is a hedge, and it could swing big in both directions depending on his status.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I don't know. You think Cooper Rush, with the way this defense has been playing and how good Houston's defense is, like, I don't think they should be outside of it. I don't think they should be more than a field goal favorites, even at home, if Lamar's out.
Ooh, I mean,
Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I don't know. Houston is got their own problems. They'll be fascinating to see. I will be very not going to even ask, but
that one in. Yeah, that one in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll see. That is something to keep an eye on, though. Of course.
Wide receivers. Let's start at the top. Who do you like? St. Brown, Chase against Detroit. I mean, it's ugly right now, but this may be the game on Chase, even though his price hasn't come down. JSN in a tough spot against Tampa and much less volume last week against Arizona. Emeka Ibuka, Nico Pickens. Like, is this just a Nico Collins game?
Yes. But I mean, if you're playing Stroud, I think it's legitimately 100% that you have to play Nico.
I think you're right.
Now, of course, you don't have to play either, but yeah, I would Nico, Chase, and honestly, it's funny. I don't know if this is probably just a me thing, but it's like St. Brown is playing so well that you almost lose sight of him. Like he doesn't have explosive games because every game is good. Uh, he's
Wow.
just it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is what I mean. No one talks about him.
And look at the efficiency on these targets.
It's nuts. The guy's got 5 targets in 4 weeks that haven't been completed. I mean, that's ridiculous. The guy's got 6 touchdowns, but it's an offense where that's sustainable because they have 5 or 6 touchdowns a game.
I'd go right back to Sun God here.
He's fantastic.
I really like Nico at 68.
Yes, me too.
If Terry's out, you could go to Debo here. Tough matchup for Flowers. He's now had, outside of week 1, he's been okay in weeks 2 and 4, but if it's Cooper Rush, I'm not getting there. I'll go right back to Garrett Wilson. He's just too good. They have to find ways to get him the ball more. It's that simple. They have to get him the ball more. I don't like this pairing, Brown or Sutton, in the same matchup, in the same game, I should say. Higgins is always interesting, sub 6K. Like, I think Higgins made a crazy grab yesterday. He's always overshadowed by Jamar Chase, but Higgins is so good.
Oh, yeah. Higgins, he's a true one on a lot of teams. No problem. He always gets hurt, but that's another story for another time. You've got McMillan. So the crazy thing, and I don't want to declare it permanent, but Ladd may have been passed in his own offense, and I did not see that coming.
I took a shot on him last week. That was a miss. I boosted him. I bet his yards prop up to 80. Yeah, that was a miss. Greg mentioned it yesterday too on the strategy show. He had a bunch of bad drops on top of not producing.
Not good. I mean,
1 for 11, dude. And then Johnston has another big game. Hampton has another big game. At least you're seeing a decent floor with Keenan Allen. Man, coming off a 1,200-yard rookie season, Ladd McConkey, after last week, I think it's official that we can be a little bit concerned.
I am concerned. I still think that it'll be fine long term, but you don't need to be a hero. Like I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. I'm not gonna buy low on him and try to time it. Waddle is right there, and if I don't go to Waddle, I'll just go to Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm fine with that. I know he's had his own issues, but this is a good spot. He's still showing some signs, and unlike Ladd, they're stuck. They don't have the luxury of being like, well, he's struggling, we'll go to other people. They have to keep him out there. They need him to have any success. Right.
They don't. You're absolutely right.
Like they can't bench him no matter how many times he drops the ball.
Yeah. Loughy, I need a max monthly promo code. Come on, my guy. Use Perfect 25% off any core or max monthly subscription. PERFECT, Perfect 25, all one word. That'll get you 25% off. It's a good discount. Links in the description if you wanted to take it there, or just use the promo, whichever one you want. But yeah, that's what we got right now. Unless you want to wait a little while, but take advantage of that now. A month from now, you'll probably get another one. So yeah, probably the easiest way to do it. Teterow and McMillan. Ben, I know maybe you're lower on the Panthers than I am, but 5,700 against Miami, I just think that's a really good spot. Like yeah. I'll go right back there. I'll go back to Quentin Johnston. I'll consider Jacoby Myers. That might be a blood in the streets type situation with Myers coming off a couple rough games where people liked him. Jalen Waddle's 5,400. Marvin Harrison's 5,400. I mean, again, this 5K range at every position outside of tight end is just loaded.
Oh, yeah. Listen, you have a million options here. I'll let the tools do some of the work, but I think you hit on the key ones. We know who's going to get a little ownership, and there'll be pivots. So simple as that.
I do want to ask chat, and I'm going to throw a poll out there for 4 of these guys in the 5K range who they like. But I would like to know from you while I do it, who do you like if there's anyone that stands out in the 4K or the 3K range this week? Because we did have some injuries.
Yeah, we had some injuries. I guess my biggest problem is you don't really need to do this unless you're paying up elsewhere or it's
You're right.
secondary stack attachments. Like we saw Trey Tucker go crazy the other day. If you want to have Kirk as an attachment to Stroud, but I don't think he would be the primary attach. He would be a secondary.
Maybe Malik Washington.
Yeah,
But
again, like I don't know. That's a weird spot. Of course, Miami, everyone's going to get a boost, but they seem like there are other spots. Then you've got the Denver guys, Franklin and Mims are down there. Luke McCaffrey has been awesome in 2 straight games in terms of catching a touchdown, but what else does he even give you? Oh, I don't know why I'm going to go down there. The Dallas guys who, a guy like Turpin, he's always live to just bust one because he's so fast. But if he doesn't, he's going to give you 4. He's like Shaheed in that MVS bucket. So you have a lot of guys with some decent ceilings, but the floor on these ranges is basically 0. Obviously, you mentioned Jameson.
Yeah, I think that's my guy, Ben.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Like, and if you look at the sentiment on this, I posted this tweet last night when I was going over just like a preliminary look on the slate, and out of everybody who I mentioned in there, and like Bryce Young, all these guys, it was Jameson Williams who people had a problem with. Like a bunch of people just being like, I don't want Jameson Williams.
Good. That makes me want to play him even more.
All right. Flip us over to tight end. Wonderfully, my computer just froze.
Well, let's see. Do you mean metaphorically or you actually want me to change the lower?
No, like I actually want you to change the lower.
Okay. Well, I think it's could be a StreamYard issue. Okay, we're here. Anyway, back to business. I can't change Jameson. We're just gonna have to stare at him. That's on you. There's no way for me to do that. What'd you say?
I said you got to. This is ridiculous. You got to be kidding me.
What do you want me to do?
No, it's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault. So, again, we didn't talk a ton about Kyler, but Trey McBride. What'd you say?
I got it. I'm back.
Oh, good. Yeah. Trey McBride, no problem with him. Bowers, obviously, there's no problem with him, but Geno's got to be better. Tyler Warren. I mean, Tyler Warren is just good. Now, he did score his first touchdown, but it was a rushing touchdown. That's just stupid. He's going to have plenty more chances. Goddard scored twice on the dumbest play I've ever seen. I don't know if I really want to go back to that, or not back to that. I wasn't there. I think I'm going to pay up at tight end. I like the big names this week.
I like both. I like the big names and I like the small names. And by the way, for Jameson Williams, I just want to tell you, he's running a route on almost every drop back. So that game will eventually happen.
Oh,
will it be this week? No, maybe not, but Ben, it will happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
I also bet over 38.5 receiving, and he finished with 2 receptions for 40. Scary, but it just shows you that, like, he was sitting at 1 for 13 all game, and then I look and it's like 2 for 40. Oh, nice, we hit it. Like it's just one of those things, man. He can do it. But yeah, I'm with you on some of these high price guys. I'll go back to the well on Bowers. I like Ferguson against the Jets. No issue there at all. They need to throw to him. We didn't mention Pickens, but you can go to Pickens against the Jets for sure this week. For sure. Tyler Warren, Sam Laporte, all the guys you mentioned. I will throw out, though, that in this lower range, there are 2 guys I kind of like. Tommy Tremble at 2,900. Just a super cheap, easy attachment who actually gets some red zone targets when they once in a while make it down there. And yes, guys, MLB show is it's 11. Yeah.
It's right after it's now.
Right now. And Mason Taylor at 2,800. I'm willing to take some shots on Mason Taylor. They don't have anyone outside of Garrett Wilson.
No, that's fine. I'll throw out Dalton Schultz quietly being in this 5 or 6 target range. He's another attachment to Stroud.
Yep. And that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, I'm not looking to make any hero calls on tight end, no.
Cheap defense, under 3K, as we always do to close out the show. I think I might land on some Saints at 2,200, Ben.
Yeah, I get that. I would go, honestly, I would go Washington. I don't think people are
Okay.
going to do that. It's not to say that I don't like some of the Chargers' weapons. The Chargers, and it's not their fault, their plan is gone because all their linemen got hurt. And I'm not talking
Yeah.
about just linemen. I'm talking about all pro type linemen. It's a problem. Herbert is taking a beating. He's going to continue to take a beating, and they're going to end up getting a lot of pressure again on him this week.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Aside from that, like those are the two that I'd probably be looking at. Shit, man. Maybe even, honestly, maybe Houston. I might consider Houston if it's Cooper Rush. That guy gets picked off plenty.
People will do that. And honestly, I think Tennessee is another dirt cheap option. Kyler does crazy things.
Yep. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Remember, come check us out on Tails. Join this awesome, quickly growing community over there. We're adding like crazy day over day. This is the ground floor. Jump in while it's brand new. Get all the free content. Come Tail. We've had some awesome winning bets too, and some great DFS content and lineups posted over here. So if you're not there yet, just go to tails.bet and follow Ben, me, whoever else you want, or use the link in the description to follow us individually. It's that simple. All your questions about how to get the free month of Stokastic Sims, bam, link down there. Sign up with any sportsbook, get them free. 4 simple steps. Some of these spots, like a sweepstake book in Onyx, spend 10, get 100 in Onyx cash, and you're getting a free month. Fanatics has another great one. All of these pick'em sites, if you're in non-legal betting states. Anything I missed before we get out of here, Ben?
No, again, and just we want you guys to make sure you're consuming all that content from us out there. And it's not just us. There are hundreds of creators on Tails. So if you're looking for something wacky, you want a 10-leg lotto parlay, we have people who do that. And they love it, and it's awesome. So find what works for you. And, stay tuned. It's Champions League, MLB playoffs. This is a weird day of betting, but it's a day of betting nonetheless. So I will have plays for sure.
We'll see you back here tomorrow for the Stokastic Strategy Show, Single Lineup Sims Edition. But right now, happening now, you've got it. MLB Live Before Lock. Go check it out right here on the channel, and we'll see you back here for the next one. Bye-bye.